statement to Reuters, Twitter confirmed that the handover was being done in close consultation with the National Archives and Records. The POTUS account on each platform is the official account of the President of the United States. The social media giants will also hand over other institutional handles for the White House, Vice President, and First Lady of the United States on Inauguration Day. Politico reported that Twitter will meet transition officials of Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris in the coming months to discuss the particulars of how the new administration will use Twitter.
Britain and Canada have struck a deal to continue trading under the same terms as the current EU agreement after the Brexit transition period ends. The deal will protect the flow of $27 billion worth of goods and services between them. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson joined Canada's Justin Trudeau and their respective trade ministers on an online call to mark the deal. The move will pave the way for a tailor-made agreement covering more areas such as digital trade, small businesses, the environment, and women's economic empowerment. Britain has negotiated multiple rollover bilateral trade deals as it prepares for its transition out of the European Union on December the 31st.
Free trade is an important part of the way we're going to bounce back from COVID. But I also think that Canada and the UK share a perspective about building back greener and using this as a moment in which to tackle climate change, but also to create hundreds of thousands of jobs.
The British Finance Minister Rishi Sunak says there is genuine progress in Brexit talks with the European Union. He says he is hoping for a deal, but not at any price. In an interview with the Sunday Times, Mr. Sunak said it would be better to walk away from a bad trade deal than tie Britain's hands in the future. Ahead on Asia Now, COVID-19 vaccine maker Moderna sets a price for governments wanting to buy their experimental vaccine. Just how much and more when we return. And later, a satellite heads to space, but not to study the stars.
After a 3-month hiatus, the Singapore Zoo is finally open.
When you see a crowd there, he will just come to the front, show himself.
But not all the animals are ready. Go behind the scenes of one of the world's best zoos. The debut episode of Inside the Zoo. Tonight on CNA.
Singapore, one of the most innovative cities on Earth. Here, ancient rivers have been modified to create futuristic water catchment systems. Wild river creatures have adapted, thriving in these new water worlds, battling for life on the urbanized banks, moving into the city's new ponds, and ruling on the edge of the reservoirs. Join us for a journey into Singapore's fascinating water world and meet the river locals who now call these places home. Wild City, River World, premiering Monday 7th December on CNA.
We realised that we really did have an outbreak going on.
Antibiotics have kept bacterial infections at bay. But for how much longer?
These are strains that are both multi-drug resistant as well as hypervirulent.
With superbugs emerging, the race for new solutions is on.
We humans so far are losing this evolutionary race.
Can we make it in time? Disease Hunters battle against bacteria. Tonight on CNA.
Let's turn to some news in brief next. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has authorized Regeneron's COVID-19 antibody therapy for emergency use. U.S. President Donald Trump was given this treatment when he was infected. The antibody therapy is for patients with mild to moderate COVID-19 and those at high risk of developing a more severe form of the illness. The The treatment is not for people already hospitalized due to the coronavirus or who require oxygen therapy. Moderna says it will charge governments between 25 and 37 US dollars per dose of its COVID-19 vaccine. That costs about the same as a flu shot. According to EU officials, the European Commission had wanted to reach a deal with Moderna for millions of doses of its vaccine candidate for less than $25 per dose. Moderna has said its experimental vaccine is close to 95% effective in preventing COVID-19. This is based on interim data from late-stage clinical trials. A Climate Guardian satellite launches to the skies from California.
2, 1, 0. And liftoff of Sentinel-6, Michael Freiland, continuing a legacy.
The Sentinel-6 is built to monitor changes in sea levels critical to understanding climate change. It measures the height of sea surfaces by recording how long it takes for radar signals to bounce off the sea surface and back to the satellite with unprecedented accuracy. Measurements done from space are more accurate than those taken from ground. The Sentinel will sweep the entire globe every 10 days and also watch how waters move around the planet. Information critical in creating climate change models. The satellite is jointly developed by American and European space agencies. They will share the $1 million 10-year mission. Its identical twin will be launched in 2025. Earlier space missions have shown that sea levels globally are rising at a faster pace, putting billions of people living in coastal areas at risk. Well, that is Asia Now for this hour. Your headlines available anytime at CNA.Asia, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Bye-bye.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
To understand the Philippines, one must understand the Filipino people, scattered throughout more than 7,000 islands. Resilient, fighting for better lives, even if it means making a living thousands of kilometers away from home. Their faith and sense of community keep them strong in the face of adversities. The Filipino spirit of Bayanihan never wanes.
Bold moves.
We do need to grow where we can grow.
To ride out tough times.
So we know where are the pinpoints.
Over half of business leaders in Singapore are confident